I think I would really kick Floyd in the street fight. Wouldn't even be no match.
Any weight, any era, who would you have picked that you would have liked to fight the most?
Floyd Mayweather.
I love it.
Mike Tyson can't stand Floyd Mayweather. He hates that.
During a recent conversation with media, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson voiced his interest in stepping into the ring with Floyd Mayweather. The boxing legend explicitly stated, "Floyd is who I want to fight," identifying Mayweather as his top choice for an opponent.
You don't think there's an opportunity to land a big punch on Floyd?
Let me tell you something about Floyd. This is what I don't like about him either. No matter whatever we say about him, and it could be true, but he's in that gym. He's a rat. He retired, but he stays in the gym. He can't help it. It's just, he don't do drugs. That's his heroin, the gym.
Someone told me this. They say he does not. He doesn't have a vice. He doesn't have a vice.
No, he does. The gym.
The gym.
The gym.
Floyd Mayweather.
I love it. Why?
Huh?
You want to knock him out?
Well, I would love him before, and I wish he was my weight.
All right, interesting answer.
In a candid discussion, interviewers questioned Tyson about possible parallels between Mayweather's technique and his own championship form. Tyson responded bluntly, asserting that Mayweather lacks the same level of threat that he possessed during his peak years and fails to command the same psychological advantage over rivals. This frank assessment offers a window into Tyson's evaluation of Mayweather's standing in boxing history.
Oh, my God.
I got a question for you. One question. I am Mike Tyson in his prime versus Money Floyd Mayweather in his prime. Who would win?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I'm probably 50 pounds heavier than Floyd, so I don't think we ever fight. You know, we can never fight. We're two
because we can only see that in a video game. So I wanted, I wanted to know, what's your thoughts? And also, when you see Floyd now, do he remind you of him? Do he remind you of yourself when you was rocking?
Yeah, to a certain degree, not totally, because he's not menacing. He's not a threat to the fact that he can hurt somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not that guy. You know what I mean? He's not going to hurt somebody. He's not going to go into a store and drag somebody out the store or do something ridiculous.
That you might have done.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything ridiculous like that. He's going to have somebody probably, but only because in a situation like that, when everybody loves you, you appear that everybody loves you, you don't know who really doesn't love you. You know, you're never going to have a chance to be at peace with yourself and to know who you really are, because there's too many people talking to you. Yes, from the outside to everybody, yes, doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good what's going on with him right now. You know, we could all be wrong, but from what we're seeing from the outside, things don't look good.
Mayweather has repeatedly positioned himself above all-time greats, like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, in boxing's hierarchy. Tyson countered these claims by describing Mayweather as completely out of touch, arguing that genuine legendary status encompasses factors beyond mere ring accomplishments. Tyson highlighted Mayweather's dependence on security personnel for basic daily activities, such as school runs with his children, as fundamentally different from the approachability that defined true icons of the sport.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Every time boxing come on, you don't bring up Muhammad Ali name. You don't bring up Mike Tyson name. You always bring up Floyd Mayweather name.
What do you think about Floyd talking about greater than Ali?
He's very delusional. If he was anywhere near that realm of greater than Ali, he'd be able to take his kids to school by himself.
There you go.
Okay, he can't take his kids to school by himself. And he's talking about he's great. Greatness is not guarding yourself from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people. He can't take his kids alone to school by himself. He's a little scared man. He's a very small, scared man.
The 5-division champion's habit of measuring himself against both historical and contemporary fighters has led many to perceive him as excessively self-focused. While this self-endorsement showcases his self-assurance, it simultaneously prompts conversations about sportsmanship and reverence within professional boxing.
Can I ask you about Mike Tyson? Because he was on this show just last week, and at the moment he's currently being profiled, as you'll know, on the channel Being Mike Tyson. That airs tonight as well. But on the show last week, he was talking about the fact that you're probably the last of these box office stars. You know, young guys are looking to the UFC fighters as opposed to traditional boxers, but you're probably the last of those box office stars. What do you say to that?
Well, I commend Tyson because he's one of the guys that paved the way for me to be where I'm at.
You know, he's a legendary champion. And the only thing I have to say about Mike Tyson is everyone is always trying to judge Mike Tyson. He lived his life the way he wanted to live his life. No one can say what they would have done if they were in his shoes. Boxing will live on. You know, it's the Mayweather era. Not just myself, but the Mayweather brand. You know, I have my own style, and what I made cool about boxing is not taking punishment.
Mayweather has branded the contemporary boxing landscape not merely as his era, but as the Mayweather epoch. This personal branding initiative demonstrates his sway over the commercial dimensions of the sport, mirroring his calculated methods for both athletic competition and financial gain. His focus on image cultivation represents a broader trend in how today's competitors.
Well, I commend Tyson because he's one of the guys that paved the way for me to be where I'm at. You know, he's a legendary champion. And the only thing I have to say about Mike Tyson is everyone is always trying to judge Mike Tyson. He lived his life the way he wanted to live his life. No one can say what they would have done if they were in his shoes. Boxing will live on. You know, it's the Mayweather era. Not just myself, but the Mayweather brand. You know, I have my own style, and what I made cool about boxing is not taking punishment.
Podcast host and analyst Joe Rogan has contributed to discussions about boxing's pantheon of greats by proposing that excellence must be evaluated relative to each generation's unique competitive landscape. Rogan's commentary draws attention to the sport's continuous development and the difficulties inherent in cross-era comparisons. This viewpoint promotes appreciation of athletes.
Floyd's undefeated too. He's not the greatest boxer of all time, right?
It's arguable he is. He's been hit hard maybe 4 times his whole career. Right. You stop and think about how many fights he fought against great elite guys. Not just great defense, like the best defense of all time.
Yeah. Somebody like Sugar Ray Robinson.
I think Sugar Ray Robinson had somewhere in the neighborhood of 90-plus victories before his first defeat, though. But I think Mike Tyson in his prime, when he knocked out Larry Holmes, when he starched Marvis Frazier, like when he was just smashing everybody, I think he had reached this level that you can only maintain for a certain amount of years. I think if Muhammad Ali had been in the same era as Mike Tyson, he would have been better because Mike Tyson was around. You get better dependent upon who's around you.
The ongoing discord between Tyson and Mayweather gained additional context when musician 50 Cent disclosed that Tyson would become so agitated during Mayweather's bouts that he physically damaged his television equipment. This revelation illustrates the depth of Tyson's emotional response to Mayweather and implies more profound conflicts between the two pugilistic superstars.
This is some real shit. Mike Tyson called me. Floyd was getting ready to go to jail. We at the M Casino. Mike Tyson said, "Come here, let me talk to you for a second." 50. He pulled me outside the door. The nigga pushed the door. Then the door opened. He came outside. He said, "Yo, I used to hate that nigga." The nigga voice changed. It got deep. You know how Mike Tyson is like, yeah. He all the way up here, Tim. He all the way up here. This nigga said, yo, I used to hate that nigga.
I can't fuck with you!
I said, oh shit. Look, I'm like this, look. So I'm sitting there going, I got to fight this nigga, right? I'm thinking I might have to fight this nigga. He said, look at this shit, 50. I'm in a fucking Cadillac, right? He pointed to a fucking Cadillac. It was, the shit was fly. It was a Cadillac truck. Yeah. But to Mike, the shit was some bullshit because it was a Cadillac, right? He going, look at me, 50. I'm in a fucking Cadillac. He said, yo, I broke my TV every time that nigga fought.
The rapper further alleged that Mayweather provided financial backing to a plaintiff in a late 1990s lawsuit against Tyson. According to these claims, Mayweather's financial resources enabled this involvement, which may have been designed to intensify Tyson's legal complications. Should these assertions prove accurate, they introduce additional dimensions to the already contentious dynamic between the two athletes.
Said, Mike Tyson can't stand Floyd Mayweather. He hate that. Now look at this, look. Floyd, the illest, I love him like a brother. So, the nigga's talented. He is our champion.
Yeah.
For this time period. Like, you watch him, praises him, all that, but he's our champion. You know what I'm saying? So, look, and they're going to do a lot of things, but they're not going to beat him.
No, they're not going to beat no.
Until he's too old. When he got to fight, when the nigga finished the money and he got to take a fight, and he's too old, so he take the fight, and then he see it, and he throw the punch, but they're late. And hit him. Start seeing 3 one time. You know what I'm saying? It start getting crazy. But look, real. Mike told me, look, the first time this had a rape charge. Look, the first time Mike Tyson was charged, well, he had somebody that was claiming he raped him.
Yeah.
Floyd was paying for that bitch's lawyer.
What?
At that point. He was paying for a girl to say Mike Tyson raped him.
Stop, man.
See, why you see him at this present moment, the one that would be the one that be all about the money. It's the money. It hurt him to watch Mike when he was all about the money. And he had the money.
In a hypothetical contemporary matchup between Mayweather and the 58-year-old Tyson, the latter would still represent a formidable challenge. Tyson's extraordinary physical maintenance continues to astonish both enthusiasts and specialists. Prominent analyst Joe Rogan has commended Tyson's conditioning, observing that his muscular power, quickness, and striking force remain exceptional considering his age. Rogan maintains that Tyson's rigorous training routine has preserved much of his dynamic explosiveness, establishing him as perhaps the most physically imposing retired combat sports athlete.
Against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You ever watch that fight?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mike Tyson fight. Because that was Mike Tyson before he won the title. It was ABC Wide World of Sports. And Joe Frazier had been talking about Tyson, that if he was in his prime, he'd beat Tyson. And so he had his son fight Tyson. And it was an execution. It was an execution.
Is that the one in Atlantic City where it lasted 1 round?
1 round. Hey, let's watch it because it's one of my favorite fights to watch Tyson, because it's Tyson in his prime where he was terrifying. He was so fast, and he would do angles, and he was bobbing and weaving. You couldn't hit him, and he was just coming at you. And he was young. He was 20 years old at the time. He couldn't be stopped. No one had the solution. And I submit that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody with him.
Retired pugilist and Tyson confidant Joe Egan provided vivid recollections of their training encounters, underscoring Tyson's unparalleled physical attributes and tempo. Egan portrayed Tyson as an unstoppable phenomenon.
But I was so relaxed. Next when I look into the ring, and Mike's pacing the ring with his shirt off. His body, his physique was incredible. His biceps, his chest, his neck, incredible. I hadn't seen him stripped to the waist. Yeah. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, that's not the same 17-year-old boy I met yesterday. That's not the same 17-year-old boy I ran with this morning. That's not the same 17-year-old boy I sat next to on the minibus getting here.
Yeah.
Then Cuss pointed to one of the big men to get in. He was knocked spark out. I tell people, I say it all the time, I ruined a good pair of underpants at that moment in time. I shit myself. There's no way a 17-year-old should have that power. He knocked a couple more out. I got in, I got battered for 3 minutes, got out. A couple more, got in. Then I was back in again. I'd done 6 minutes with him that day. But the madness in me, George, because I do believe fighters have to have a little bit of madness in them. You know, I really do, and it's not insulting any fighter, but I just believe that there's a bit of madness in us all to fight and to want to fight.
Yeah.
And I believed in my mind, one day I'll get the better of you. I never did. I stayed on with him for 2 years, and it was probably the makings of me, because I took some serious punishment off that man over 2 years. He made me cry so many times. But psychologically, I believed if I could take Mike Tyson's punishment, I could take anybody's punishment. Because he was such a power puncher. He used to speak to my mum on the phone regular. Oh, Mrs. Egan, chatting away, and she'd say to him, oh, Mike, thank you so much for looking after my son. But he was minding me as well. Even though he was battering me, he was minding me. I remember one time when Sugar Ray Leonard came to the gym. He came to the gym on 2 occasions while I was there. And Mike wanted to impress Ray Leonard because he was in awe of Sugar Ray Leonard, like a lot of fighters are.
Yeah.
And Mike savagely beat his sparring partners this day.
Echoing this sentiment, Roy Jones Jr., Tyson's 2020 exhibition opponent, attested that even in his late 50s, Tyson retains peerless punching potency. Jones identified Tyson as the most powerful combatant he's ever faced. These firsthand. Accounts from fellow professionals demonstrate the profound esteem Tyson garners within boxing circles.
What happened when you did the exhibition? What did you feel about Tyson when you did the exhibition with Tyson?
Mike Tyson's still the strongest puncher that I've ever been in the ring with, ever. At 55 at the time, now I think he's 57, about to be 58. He's still the strongest puncher I've ever been in the ring with. First time he hit me in my chest, I feel like a mule had kicked me in my chest. So if he hits anybody on the chin with a shot like that, they're going either out or they're going down, especially guys that are not used to being hit like that. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of people like Evander Holyfield and Lewis, these guys are bigger and they can take it, but Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to be able to take that. It might hit him on the chin like that. We'll see, but it's going to be tough. He may surprise me.
Do you think that Mike Tyson was going all out with you, or do you think that he was like a sparring session? I know it's hard.
I think he went all out to the body. I don't think they went. They told us we better not be out there trying to take each other's head off, or they're gonna stop it. So you couldn't go all out to the head, but to the body you could. And to the body, he was throwing some vicious body shots.
Wow. So Jake, I just seen Jake yesterday, and he was 230 pounds. He looked kind of big. Yeah, he was 230, right? I was like, damn, you big.
Well,
like, really big.
That can make it interesting then.
So, and then he said that he feels as fast as he was at 185 or 90.
Yeah. Former heavyweight title holder Shannon Briggs has publicly lauded Tyson's unflagging commitment to physical preparation. Briggs considers Tyson's work ethic motivational, especially for emerging fighters who regard him as an exemplar of determination and professional conduct in competitive fighting.
There's got to be one thing that really separates him from the pack as boxers, not from fans.
I mean, just speed for us. If somebody's so fast that when you go to punch and they beat you to the punch, or it's dangerous. And he was just ferocious. I think a lot of times too, the fear factor going into a fight with a guy like that, nobody has seen a guy like that to that point. Here he not really fighting left-handed. He going both ways. You know what I'm saying? He was squaring up. He was doing things that you really it's hard to train for. So he was just so dangerous.
That's why I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you with speed.
Yeah.
Mayweather has chronicled his personal metamorphosis from Pretty Boy Floyd, recognized for his blistering hand speed and exhaustive training dedication, to Money Mayweather, distinguished by tactical sophistication and commercial acumen. This progression exhibits Mayweather's capacity for reinvention.
One of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter, and he would put himself in danger much more. And then when he became Money Mayweather, like as it got later and later in his life, he just got so much more brilliant defensively. And then he became the guy that you see shutting out Canelo Alvarez, stopping all these guys, just shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard to the point where you'd see world-class fighters like Sugar Shane Mosley, who did tag him, but other than that, didn't really. Once he recovered, he didn't really know what to do with Floyd. Floyd just had the answers to his style. He had figured him out.
Yeah, and I even see a lot of people because I go by his gym from time to time. It's and I see like a lot of people that are coming up in boxing who just want to right out the gate be what Floyd is now. You know what I mean? Be on the ropes and be able to slip punches but they forget like the time when he beat out of Arturo Gatti, and was no defense to it. He just came out and was throwing hands. Like they forget all the like amateur fights that he had before that he's won and lost, and he just had a different style of fighting. So it takes time to get to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain
that
people
Arturo
get
Gatti
there.
fight was brutal.
Oh, brutal. Yeah. He's a monster. I give him a lot of respect. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people do, but
they're crazy.
The man's just being him.
This concludes our presentation for today. We appreciate your viewership and invite you to join us.